quickly on the hop. Let's go. Let's go. Power, hurry up. Hurry up. Let's go, female. Hurry up. Hurry up. Let's go. Move faster, you.
Night of arrival was just...
Get off the bus and get in the building. Move, move, move faster, you. Move.
I'm like, what did I get myself into?
So it was like 1 second we're on the bus, watching the little video, trying not to fall asleep. And then as soon as we get off the bus, like it's immediate screaming.
Let's go! Move! Move! Move faster, you!
I remember getting yelled at. That's pretty much all I can remember is just getting yelled at.
Move! Move! Make 2 even rows! Move! Move! Let's go! Move down! Let's go! Look down! Look down!
Good afternoon, I'm Chief Petty Officer Jamie Kalaw. I'm a Recruit Division Commander. The minute you get off the bus, there's going to be a lot of stress applied upon you. The yelling, the go, 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 can you do this, can you get that done? And it's up to you to basically perform under pressure.
Look straight! Look straight! Welcome to the United States Navy. For the next 8 weeks, you will not do a single thing on your own. I tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Nothing that I ever tell you is a request, an option, or a suggestion.
So you make it, you give it direction, and you have
You
0.5
with.
seconds to pay attention to it, to the letter. So you can't mess up. If you mess up, then that's on you, and it's really gonna fall back on you.
Then you will roll up your pant legs 3 inches up. When you are done, you will be on the tow line, standing straight, looking straight, awaiting further instruction. You have 15 seconds. Go! Go! Hurry up!
Let's
Get
go!
all your shit!
Let's
Hurry
go!
up!
Let's go!
I said behind you! Behind you! Not next to you!
Is that touching your heels? No, it's not! Fix it! Pull
Fix
your
your
stuff!
leg! Fix
Pull your
it!
stuff!
He said get down to the last shirt with sleeves. Maybe I wasn't loud enough. Maybe you couldn't understand me. Fix yourself now!
I thought it was gonna be a little bit more relaxed, but definitely isn't. A lot more intense than I did think it was gonna be.
Who said to stand like that? You must love getting special attention. Huh?
No, Chief.
Get that attention! Now! I'm pretty sure that I said your hands will never be behind you, your hands will never be in front of you! What is your problem? Medium. Proper military bearing will be maintained 24/7 and it starts tonight. Do you understand me?
Yes, Chief.
I can't hear you. Do you understand me?
Chief! Yeah, that was the hardest for me. Just to not even argue the point. Just take it, yeah.
This row's gonna fall out, and then that row. Let's go.
Let's go, fall out, move out faster. Let's go, get over here.
All the way go down that line right there. Keep going. All the way down to the end. And one more right point right here. Go. Go. That girl's lost in the sauce. Let's go. Let's go. Hurry up. Hurry up. Get down there.
Look down. Touch it.
Hey, you, get him back. Get him back. Get him back. Sorry.
You grab that.
We got our sea bag, which was the big green duffel bag that you have to carry. You take all of your personal items off, like all of your clothing, your shoes, everything you arrived in. You put it in a box, including your cell phone, and ship it home. And then you get brand new everything from t-shirts that we're wearing to the PT clothes to sneakers. Nothing that you came with, aside from maybe a hairbrush and a few personal items, gets to stay with you. I knew that I would have to carry my own luggage, like there was no bellman service here, but I didn't expect all of my things to be that heavy. Like when I was filling it up, I was like, okay, great, this is so convenient. Everything fits in this little green bag, wonderful. And then I had to put it on, and it wasn't so wonderful anymore.
Okay, then fix it now!
I've been up since 3 in the morning since last night, and I don't know how I'm awake right now at this moment. And I've been on my feet, and my feet are dying.
So that's it. I'm exhausted. My arms feel like they're gonna fall off, and it's not fun yet.
I
I didn't even sleep at Mets. Yeah, I nearly fell asleep standing. So
I am naturally standing at attention right now. Not even trying to, but
It's definitely getting a lot tougher for recruits.
Pretty sure I said you will sound off.
Yes, Chief.
Huh?
Yes, Chief.
Did I say walk back on the tow line? I didn't. Do you know where you're at? Respond! Say something! Yes, Chief. No, Chief. Maybe, Chief. What is it?
Yes, Chief.
Because responding is not an option.
From what other people would say, and like how they said that they've gone a bit softer because of like the era that we're in, but no, I think it's still kind of the same.
There is a reason for everything that we do here. We do instill that pressure.
So what is it doing next to you? Huh? Let me guess. You want... No! Now you want to fix it. Maybe had you just done the right thing the first time, you wouldn't be in this situation.
Because again, when you do get to the fleet, we want to make sure that you fight and you don't fold.
It's nothing like boot camp. It's nothing like Navy boot camp. You are joining the United States Navy. I expected it to be hard.
No. I'm not a sir! No, Chief. I'm not a chief! No, no! Nobody else,
I tell them all the time, this is more your Navy than it is mine. You know, years from now, I'm gonna retire and you're gonna take over my spot. And I let them know that I wanna make sure I can tell my wife and kid that we're safe at night because there's tough people in the Navy, and I know for sure because I put them in.
But we're gonna be going down the speedway and Carlson Falls from the left. Means the left rank is gonna take off first. Everybody will go down the speedway in a single file line. So on. Do you understand that? Yes, you have to get a little louder than that for me. Yes, all right, so Carlson Falls from the left. Last recruit, sound off. Last recruit, fall out. Stand by.
From there, once we receive them, we put them in divisions. So we assign them to the divisions as we need them, and then around 03:30 in the morning, once everybody goes through that entire process, then the in-processing barracks team picks them up and takes them to Chow, and from there, you know, later on a few hours from there, they'll meet their recruit division commander.
Let's go, hurry up! 2 per bunk. Stand in front of the bunk.
Yeah, I just want to get boot camp finished. I like challenges, and I feel like this is a challenge, and I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna graduate without doubt. It's going to happen.
I have a very set goal of what I'm here to do. If I have to get yelled at, I'm getting yelled at, and that's fine. But in 8 weeks, I plan on being out of here. So I don't have time to fight with anyone or to get in any type of trouble or get set back, because that's not what I'm here for. Just in and out and move on.
Just get out of here. Yeah, just get out of here. I want to graduate.
Like I thought it just comes with going to boot camp that you were going to graduate, but you have to earn it. So.
Yeah, it's definitely harder than I thought it was.
when my wife passed, why I wanted to give back. So that's how I got involved with the Senior Companion Program. One of my clients, Leland, I take him to his doctor's appointments. We go walking once in a while. We do a lot of reading. That's given me a reason to do exercises, do more walking. I have to keep myself healthy so that I can help them. I really believe that my clients do more for me sometimes than I do for them.
After I lost my eyesight, I wasn't able to work. Like in my position, nobody would hire me. So I got a little depressed. So I seen the ad in the traders for a foster grandparent. So I told myself, oh, let's go give it a try. I like to see the expressions on the kids when they're doing a good job, or even emotionally, they come and give you a hug in the morning, or it gave me more satisfaction. It gave me a purpose to get up, and I wanted to give my experience, my life experience, to somebody else.
I was a neurosurgeon for close to 25 years. I've done a lot of volunteer work, but perhaps the one that is most satisfying is delivering Meals on Wheels. As a doctor, I think volunteering, especially for an older person, is important to keep them going, having them get out of the house, move around, meet new people. It's healthy for their bodies, healthy for their minds, and it really makes them feel better about themselves and can help forestall some of the depression that occurs in later years.
Before I volunteered, I had a failed back surgery and I had been on opiates. You know, I just get up and kind of do the same things over and over. And when I started volunteering, now I have all these kids that need help and look to me for guidance. And so I quit my opiates, and it's not just rewarding, but it's helped me tremendously. I get up in the morning, I know I'm going to the school, I know it's like having all these extra friends, and you get to have lunch with them, and just seeing the light come on for kids who aren't understanding something. And you see that light come on when they finally do, it finally clicks for them. So I think that's probably the most rewarding.
So from talking with some of the volunteers about their health, I think the biggest change is their mental health. It gives them a purpose. It gives them a reason to get up in the morning, to volunteer and go help another person. And that's whether they're seeing them in their home or they're helping them on errands or taking them to the doctor's appointment or getting, you know, even simple thing like groceries. But it gives them a purpose to get up in the morning. It helps their health, and it also helps the client's health. And that's one great thing about the Senior Companion Program. The Foster Grandparent Program, it's kind of the same thing. It's the mental health of the volunteers, but it gets them out of the house, gives them a purpose, and then they see the love of that child, and they get that love in return for them. And it's just the emotional support and the mental health for them really makes a huge, huge difference.
When I retired, I was like very sedentary. And when I got involved in foster grandparent, I was exercising a lot, walking the hallways, on the go. Being a foster grandparent has helped me a lot in my health, and I've lost a tremendous amount of weight, and it brought all my diabetes, A1C levels down a lot. With the children, you see their success, you see their progress, you see hope in them. It's seeing a child grow up and see them succeed, it's worth it all. And I've come really to appreciate that I can say to myself, I've invested in that child. It has made me feel a lot better about myself.
Yeah, after I lost my eyesight, being a volunteer built up my confidence.
Without foster grandparents, I would probably still be on opiates.
Being a Senior Corps volunteer has kept me active.
And without the foster grandparent program, I wouldn't be where I am now.
To learn more about the health benefits of being a Senior Corps volunteer, visit nationalservice.gov/healthyvolunteers.
My name is Caleb Archie. I'm a senior at the University of Central Florida. I'm an intern here at the Department of Energy's Office of Nuclear Energy. Currently, I'm working on a feasibility study projecting small modular reactors and microreactors in small isolated communities around the United States. So applying a small modular reactor, or microreactor in this case, will have a significant impact in that it provides a sustainable and a localized amount of energy for a small community around itself. For instance, in North Barrow, Alaska, where there are no oil pipelines or 6 months of darkness around the year, a small modular reactor will provide power to the local communities for building schools, local industry, and even providing a secondary industry because of the byproducts of a reactor. I had little knowledge about nuclear energy, but through learning more about it, attending several meetings, meeting foreign dignitaries, I learned that international relations plays a key part in nuclear energy. It's a sustainable resource that should be something that we should be taking advantage of, and that will only heighten our technological benefits and technological advances here in the United States.
Houston, Texas. A warehouse holds a symbol of hope, as simple as it is iconic. It was born during World War I and served through both wars. Filled by American farmers, it fortified our allies, and when the smoke cleared, it assured our enemies that the fighting was over. Since 1954, this bag has served as the symbol for the United States food assistance around the world. In the aftermath of war, it would rebuild. It would intervene when famine threatened. And when great droughts came, it would be airdropped, trucked, and carted wherever it was needed. The world has evolved, and hope now appears in new packaging. After the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, USAID cell phone transfers allowed recipients to purchase food from local stores. When Typhoon Haiyan devastated the Philippines, USAID reached families desperate for food with locally sourced rice. And now, Syrian refugees use debit cards to buy food in markets, finding dignity and comfort in familiar meals. New superfoods are being developed that treat and prevent malnutrition, giving the very young the strength to live on. And while the bag remains, it can be filled with food grown locally, tackling hunger while making communities more resilient. In 1954, the United States food assistance started here, and it has grown and evolved as the world has changed. But one thing remains constant: the American people's commitment to ending hunger and extending a helping hand in times of need.
All across Los Angeles, everywhere you turn, you see encampments, you see people living on the streets. On any given night in Los Angeles, we know there are about 4,800 veterans who are experiencing homelessness, according to our last point-in-time count. Over the past few years, we've seen a lot of improvements in data and how data is collected. And because of that, we're closer to being able to say we have an exact count of who the homeless veterans are and what they like, what they don't like, what motivates them, what doesn't motivate them. So it enhances our skills from a case management perspective to make sure that we're really meeting their specific needs.
Absolutely, at the federal level, we look at data closely with VA, with HUD, make sure we all have the same understanding of each other's data and using that to drive federal policy and programmatic decisions. But I think where the biggest changes have happened in the use of data is at the local level, that we've seen communities move away from just knowing an estimate of how many veterans are experiencing homelessness to having actual by name lists of veterans in their communities who are experiencing homelessness.
Prior to 2011, we were basically relying on a more paper-based system. And in 2011, we implemented Homes, which is an online data system that provides real-time data where we're able to clearly identify veterans in the community and what are their individual needs. And based on those, connect them with the right services that they need.
Data is essential in homeless programs because we need to know that what we're doing matters, and it's been a total game changer for us. We track veterans as they're engaged in services, as they enter programs, and as they exit programs, and we look at program outcome information really to help us determine that our programs are providing the most effective services that they can. Looking at things like, did they fully complete their treatment before exiting the program? Did they exit to permanent housing? That sort of thing.
When we first meet with our veterans, we listen to the things that they want to work on. We help them identify some of those goals, but everything is driven by the client. So if the client wants to work on housing, they can work on housing. If they want to work on their mental health issues, they can go ahead and work on that. We have a whole team approach. We have peer supports. We have nurses on our team. We also have housing locators. So each of these specific team players have a role with the veteran. On a weekly basis, we meet to discuss every single veteran on our caseload. Data collection is a great tool for us to communicate better and try to get a holistic picture of what the veteran is going through and identify what resources they may need.
It's amazing that I can send someone to the Welcome Center for evaluation, and I know that they've gotten their screening for housing done that day because I can see it in the notes. The data sharing is there, and it's intrinsic in the care we give. And then I send a veteran to a specialist, and they get seen, and I can see the notes. I can e-consult, and I get follow-up that I would never be able to get in a different setting. To me, that makes the ultimate difference in the care that I'm able to provide as a physician. As a clinic, we can look at our HPAC measures. As a team, we can look at our measures around discharges, frequency of visits, and are we following up in a timely manner to really help engage these veterans.
What I really like about the way that the VA collects data is that it's in a non-judgmental form, but gives me the pertinent information that I need to be of the best assistance to someone.
Hi, I'm George, man.
And see, and that's what I love about this job, is I get to be that person that tries to have you imagine what your fullest life is and help you get there.
Are you service connected yet?
No, I never applied for anything. I never had.
Then you
I
have
always
to.
had money.
You gotta
I know
start, man. You gotta. I spent a little over 12 years homeless on the streets of Skid Row, and I probably would not be alive had it not been for the VA. I can't even put a value on the recovery that I was able to receive by walking through the doors of the VA. And what I really like now is veterans out there now don't even have to walk to the doors, because if they won't come to the VA, we bring the VA to them.
We have outreach teams that all work together within the community, and by identifying veterans on the by name list, we're able to identify where they last were seen, where they can frequently be visited, and it helps with the engagement. With this population, oftentimes you don't find approaching somebody and then getting them into services immediately. We love it when that happens, but it's often not the case. Repetition is really what brings people in eventually. They see you coming back, you can build rapport, and we wouldn't be able to do that without the use of the data and the information we've got here.
I was literally living homeless under a bridge for 2.5 years, and life was dark until that VA outreach got to me and informed me about the programs. I was hopeless. I was like, there's no way possible for me to get out with my drug problem, with my living conditions, with no support from anybody, with no positive influences. There's no way. You know, they were persistent. They just kept coming back, coming back, coming back. And then eventually I got in the car with them and came over here and enrolled in the Welcome Center.
When a veteran first comes to me, the first thing I do is to do an assessment to find out what he needs to get back on his feet. And my experience is if you let the veteran feel that he's in charge, he's going to work harder. And if you give them the tools they need to be successful, then they do. When I see people like Sterling, it makes me very, very happy. Yeah, because he's going to live. You know, he's going to thrive.
My homelessness began off and on when I got out of the Coast Guard. And to be where I am in my own place and being a full-time student, I wouldn't be where I am without the VA. I couldn't have done it without the VA. And I'm in a very good place, the emotional, mental, physical support that I'm getting. And my goal is I want to be a VA chaplain and be a certified spiritual counselor that help my veteran brothers and sisters, giving them that support that people have given me.
Data is invaluable. Without that resource, it's difficult to develop a program in terms of the staffing you need, in terms of the content for the program itself, and then really in terms of the outcomes. Are we successful? Without having the access to data and without understanding how to use the data, we really wouldn't be here directly providing services to those veteran populations that need it.
So I think VA is really headed in the right direction with regard to data collection. The home system that they're using is one of the most data-rich troves of information on homeless veterans across the country. They use it for research, they use it for connecting veterans to benefits, and communities are now using it to plan their systems of care to ensure that they've got the right resources at the right time. Because let's face it, you can't solve a problem that you can't see, and having data and being able to use it just in time is the way that you can see the problems to then solve them.
Moving towards the future, I think we can take data and make it even more nimble and make it more accessible. And I think the more interactive we can be with everybody outside of the VA, the better job we're going to do at actually solving veteran homelessness permanently. Once we end homelessness for veterans in Los Angeles, our data systems are going to allow us to maintain that and really move more towards the prevention side to make sure folks aren't falling back into homelessness.
We've been really successful moving a lot of veterans into permanent housing, but we have a lot of veterans who are left to serve. And so looking at the specific demographics of those veterans, learning why we haven't been able to engage them so far and how do we target our interventions there. It's looking at things like the housing market nationally and the changes over time and what pattern that's telling us.
I've been struggling with getting sober and struggling with finding an avenue to do it. And what finally clicked is when actually I got here to the VA and I saw the programs, I saw the area, I saw the living conditions, I saw the people, I saw the energy. Instantly, I was like, yeah, I'm staying there. VA has given me a lot of hope for the future. And you know, if you want a future, you want to be successful in that, you can achieve it here.
It's really rewarding when you see those veterans who just refuse to come in, they refuse to get services, and then one day, it's that day, is the day that they're ready to get housed, and that's probably the only day they're going to be ready, so we better be there for them, and we better be willing to connect them that day. So those types of moments are really beautiful because we have a lot of folks that just put so much work into developing these relationships with people. To finally see them in a home and be successful is what it's all about.